From Las Vegas, Sandy Kastel and friends.
Hi, and welcome to Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael.
Oh, my God in heaven.
What's the matter?
I feel great. Last
you
night,
feel great. What's the matter? You worn out from last night?
Baby, nothing wears me out, sweetheart.
Well, we were at the Sienna's Authentic Italian Trattoria over at 9500 West Sahara, just west of Fort Apache. And we had a wonderful evening last night. We had the Chad Michaels Band. We had David DaCosta. We had Steve Ponkar with us, and Jimmy Molador came and sat in. We had a lot of singers, Pammy Williams, we had Racine, we had CC Spencer. It was a great night.
Yeah, it was great. I had a great time. It's the first time, ladies and gentlemen, we're in the studio. It's only me and Sandy.
But just for a few minutes.
For a few minutes. And I said, I've been wanting to do this for a long time. Now's a chance for you guys to pick up a phone. You can call Chef Michael. We can talk, have some fun without being interrupted. The Grossos. The Grossos were at the place yesterday. We had a fantastic time.
I know. We had Madeline and Bill. We had Eddie and Sue. We had Carolyn and Robert. The Cohens.
The Cohens, oh yes.
And the Perrys, Dr. Pascal.
Dr. Pascal. And let's not forget Jolie.
And Diana.
And Diana Jolie,
yes.
The great artist, was there. We had a good time. We really did.
Tony and George were there too.
My good buddies.
Yeah.
And here's the best part of this whole thing. I was so nice last night. We were out there with Giancarlo. And
yes.
we'll be at Sienna's every Wednesday, which was really great. And so many other people came to see us.
And I just want to say sorry if everybody didn't find out about it, because I know I got a couple texts this morning and last night that said, where are you? Where are you? Because they went over to the West Wing Cigar Lounge.
Yep.
And some of them came over afterwards, and then some of them texted me and said, where were you? We didn't know you weren't going to be there. So, but they were there watching Miss Marilyn B., which was fabulous.
Yes, she's great.
Always great. And in fact, she's going to be here this morning at 9:30.
Marilyn B.?
Yeah.
Caledonia!
I know.
I love that
She's
woman.
so fabulous.
She's one of the best.
And we're now over at the Sienna's, and we're so excited because Giancarlo, he's got a wonderful establishment over there. It's great Italian food. Now, Michael, is that Napolitan or is it Calabrese? What is it? Or is it a variety of different Italian foods?
It's an Italian restaurant, and what happens is many times in Las Vegas they have, what you call the stock Italian restaurants, the shrimp scampi, all that kind of stuff. But my Chef Michael's thing's a little bit different.
Well, I'm not talking about Chef Michael's.
No. I'm trying to make you understand something. My cooking is a little bit different because it's when I say authentic, South Philadelphia.
Well, it's the peasant dishes.
Right, it's right.
They don't always put those
that's why it was
Italian
very
restaurants.
successful at the cigar lounge, because you can't get that anywhere. Now, next Sunday we're having a big dinner at the house, and Alex came. I talked to Alice Yanko.
Yes,
Alex,
he and his girlfriend are going to come over. Yes.
And did he call you today?
He texted me. He texted me. He said he had a great time. Yeah.
Did he tell you what he wants to do?
What?
Well, I'll tell you. I can't tell you on the air, but.
Okay. Somebody just texted right now.
And who's that?
It's Michelle Roxy Davis. She says she has a few women fitness instructors who would like to join our Fit and Fabulous program. Oh my gosh! Thank you, Roxy.
Yeah,
that was great.
You. Roxy Davis is about 23 years old, and
she's adorable.
She's got a face that was made in heaven and a body that was cut out in hell. So that kid.
I think that's supposed to be a good thing.
No, it is a good thing.
Yeah.
She's a sweet kid, and her boyfriend. What's his name? I keep forgetting him.
Gene Woods. What do you mean, Gene Woods? I lost you.
I call him Yul Brynner. I call Gene. He reminds me of Yul Brynner.
Well, you know what? I was thinking about Ricky Cash and Aaron Phillips when you asked me. That's why. So you threw me off a little bit. They were out there last night, and they did interviews with everybody.
Oh.
A lot of people that came out, and they were on air. And we want to thank you.
Right.
Thank you to both those guys for doing that. And they were on the show the other day. They're absolutely wonderful guys. And, they do a Vegas Unwrapped online, and they have been doing that for 5 years. They've had over 300 shows.
Well, I think
that's a record.
I think it's time for those two guys to join our team.
Well, I think we've kind of been teaming up on a few things.
But what I'm going to do is just bring them along with us as the advertisers. They get the best of both worlds. They get Vegas Unwrapped and with us, because we really like them guys. They do a phenomenal job.
We're teaming up with Roxy too, and she's so it's great because I'm teaming up with her on that Fit and Fabulous Forever, staying fit.
Could I team up with her?
No. Anyway, I just want to say today is my my dance day. I'm so excited. I get to go see Angelo Moyo over at Backstage Dance Studio, and I will be there at 11 a.m. So if you girls or guys want to come and do a dance class, it's a jazz dance class, and it's called Beginning Jazz, but it's really got a mixture, a variety of levels of talent in there, because we've got some professionals in there, and then we've got people that just go out there to stay in shape. So it's over on Backstage Dance Studio, and that's over at DI and Boulder Highway on Backstage Drive.
That's wonderful. Yeah. And Mr. Morrow better give you a free something, because we're giving a lot of friggin' plugs on the air, and this guy ain't paying for nothing.
Well, they're so appreciative, because he used to dance with Anne Margaret and Julia Prowse. Yes, and he even danced with Sandy Kastel. Wow. No, actually, I mean, I'm serious. This was a real treat. He had not danced on anybody else's show for like 20 years, and when I did the Toys for Tots a couple years ago, over at the time it was called the LVH, Angelo and Mark, they both danced with me in that show, and it was so wonderful because I got an opportunity to have them dance with me.
Great. Well, last night at the Sienna's Deli, Sienna's Trattoria Italian. I say Sienna's Deli. I had a great sandwich last night.
Well, they do have a deli. It's on the other side.
On the other side
of the wine wall.
One thing nice about what we do, we're the last type of act what Vegas used to be. I mean, that type of show. There's bands out there. Like tonight, they got Ken Foot, which is great. Ken,
Kent is great.
Ken does a great job, and you get out there and hang on, slooba, hang on. And you got them all.
Oh, they do a variety of music.
They do a variety of different
and everybody
stuff.
Dances.
But last night was beautiful because we had a great time, and it's always enjoyable to do that. And to go back into time, when I remember in 1974 when I was back in Vegas, it was lounge acts. You had Freddie Bell, you had the Vagabonds, you had the Treniers, you had
Cedro's Armada.
I mean, everywhere you went, it was an act.
Well, also, we had a lot of shows that like reviews. Like I was in Pinups at the Movies, and then in between they would have the comedians, like Shecky Green and all these guys,
Well, here's the problem. What's happening out there?
Rodney Dangerfield.
For those that don't know, these things are called the hotels
Murray
are going
Langston.
with. When you're done, let me know what the hotels are doing now.
Lainey Kazan.
You're a pain in my ass today. All right, listen to me.
Well, those were the shows. Those were the great lounge acts,
right.
And I know we were talking about this morning that a lot of times, what was depicted, remember years ago on Saturday Night Live, and they did the lounge lizard. Okay, remember they did the lounge guy.
Right.
And but there were a lot of great acts that people could go see for a 2-drink minimum. Just 2 drinks. Right. I mean, come on, give me a break.
But here's the thing, Sam, just so you know.
What?
And everybody out there. Okay, finish your story, because you're going to talk for the whole hour. I won't say one word. Go ahead.
Hey, it's my show, too.
Well, guess who's paying for it? No, I'm only teasing you. Anyway, go ahead, sweetheart.
What do you mean who's paying for it? Is somebody paying for this show?
Yeah, Mr. Styles.
You mean we actually pay for this?
Styles
we
is
get to
picking
have
up
a good
the tab.
time?
Who's this guy?
This must be Andy. How are you, Andy? Good
Andy
morning.
just came into town. What's up,
he
big
has
Andy?
a
How
book.
you feel,
Look
buddy?
at this. He has...
narrowly avoided an accident.
He just...
Oh, yes.
So anyway, to finish my story, while
Go ahead.
Andy's putting his earphones on and getting ready to talk about his book. Everything today in Las Vegas is a four-wall. And unfortunately, most of the acts that are out there, they don't really have... They're great acts, but they don't have a draw where people would come in to see them. Now what they do, they want to charge you $25, $30 at the door just to get in to see the show that doesn't include no food, doesn't include no dinner, no drinks, no nothing.
I know.
And it's very difficult for these acts outside of somebody coming up. Then they find somebody, what they call them a sweetheart, where you go back and somebody backs the show, and in the meantime, the guy loses $200,000. Shows are great, but the hotels need to get back into stride again, because remember, they got the access of the slot machines to really pay these acts. Because I remember that on the Palace Station, they had a $300,000 budget for the year, and they would book acts in those days. Back in 1990, I was getting $8,500 a week for the show.
$8,500
a lot of money them days.
Week. Oh my God! What kind of show was that?
Well, it was called the Dance of the Seven Virgins. And anyway, I'm not that people care, but I want to let them know. But Sienna's is one of the places that you can come up and see a great show, great food, great drinks, and Giancarlo's at the door giving everybody out of your clove of garlic on the way out.
That's right. And also, Jackie, we want to send a shout out and to all the staff there at Sienna's. Thank you so much for making last night a big success.
It was. Yeah. It was.
And I just got to let everybody know, Wednesdays, if you want to, next week we'll be there Wednesday, and you really should call in and make a reservation.
Gotta make a reservation.
Because it just gets packed, and we want to make sure that everybody gets a seat. And dinner starts at 7:30, and you can call 702-360-3358. That's 702-360-3358 at Sienna's Authentic Italian Trattoria, and that's at 9500 West Sahara, just west of Fort Apache. And we really want to see you out there next Wednesday for Sandy Kastel and Friends and Chef Michael's open mic. Yeah, with the Chad Michaels Trio or Quartet.
Right. And
or Quintet. Last night we had a trombone player that sat in with us too.
He did.
Yeah.
He was terrific.
Steve. I don't know his last name.
Steve Trombone, his name
Steve
is.
Trombone. Hey, yeah. Well, thank you, Steve Trombone. And Steve Poncard. So, guess who just walked in?
Who?
This is Andy Martello. Hi, Andy. How are you?
Andy, you're Italian?
Hey,
paisano, che si dice,
God bless you, buddy.
I was listening on the way in, and I was hearing the differences between Italian foods, and it just brought me back. You were talking about the peasant foods and all the good
Andy,
stuff.
let me ask you a question, because Sandy always asks me for a recipe every day. I don't know why, but she does.
That's because that's your role here.
That's my role here. Yeah, it's a spring roll at the Chinese restaurant. Right. What paese are you? The paese means what part of Italy was your family from?
My family originally came from Foggia, which if you're gosh, I'd have to actually have a picture of the boot here to point it out there. Foggia,
right.
And that's essentially where they came from.
Now, if you went to an Italian, I'm sorry, honey, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Was it near Foggia?
It's near other Italians. I honestly couldn't tell you.
You don't know.
I would have to look at it on a map
that's
myself.
Why you say you have to have
If my younger brother were here, he would be able to tell you, because he actually went and visited one time.
Okay, we'll have to call him.
Yes, we'll call him up.
So if you're sitting in an Italian restaurant and there was one thing that you wanted to eat, because what you're going to tell me, I'm going to give you the recipe for it. What would you order, Andy?
Oh gosh, I'm a sucker for a great plate of gnocchi with perhaps either a homemade Alfredo or I kind of like what do you call it? I kind of like a pesto and pine nut sauce.
Okay, well let me tell you everybody what Andy just said. The gnocchis is like gavadilis. Now there's two kinds. You got the one with the potatoes.
What's a gavadili?
Gavadili.
It's a little like a gnocchi.
It's like a gnocchi.
So nobody knows
Put it there, buddy. That's my boy right here.
It's a little dough, right?
You can make it with potato. It's homemade. It's
like a potato dumpling almost.
Thank you. Okay, let me give you a pesto sauce. I'm going to tell you how simple this is to make.
Okay,
all right, everybody.
Pesto sauce. Get ready with your
pesto sauce, everybody.
Diane, are you listening in?
Listen in, Diana. Diana Poncard, I was going to say.
No, Diana Fox.
Diana Fox. Listen to me, Miss Fox. Here we go. You go to Smith Food King Nazi, and they have the sweet, it's called Basanagol, which is basil. It's about $4.95. Now, this will
and that can also double as an insult if you're angry at something.
That's true. Basanagol. So what you do is you get yourself a blender or a food processor, really the food processor. You put the green leaf, which is the Basanagol, in the food processor. You add oil. Listen to me carefully. You add Italian olive oil. You add fresh garlic. You add Parmesan cheese. You add salt. You add pepper. And you add a little bit of cream. And you blend it up. You don't have to cook it. You don't have to heat it up.
Wow.
Once it's done, which it takes less than a minute for that thing to spin.
This is why I like talking to Italian chefs, because everything sounds like food porn. As soon as we're all chatting away, having a good time, and then you take this and there's this nice silence. Yeah, what next? What next? What are you doing next? Oh, God, you put the cream in there. Oh, my God, it was so good. Now everyone's hungry at it.
And it is, and I tell you, I can't tell you how many proposals he's had from men.
From men.
Say, oh, my God, this is
burly men that look like Styles, and that's a nightmare. No, I'm only kidding you. And what you do is you blend it. It has a green flavor to it, the color. And what happens, and naturally the key is the Parmesan cheese. You got to put the Parmesan cheese. I use Pecca Romano or Locatelli. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a little expensive. You're looking at about maybe $9.95 a pound, sometimes $14 because it's imported. But the cheese is the key to steak pizzaiolo, fettuccine alfredo, and a pesto sauce.
Great.
A good Parmesan cheese, and then you pour that over any kind of pasta you want, and the pine nuts you just put on. That's the last thing.
That's an afterthought.
Yeah, that's an afterthought. But that's good. I like that too.
But they add to that
Right,
flavor.
and that's the recipe, Sandy, for today for pesto sauce with gnocchi.
Thank you so much, Chef Michael. And
I'm
if
leaving.
you're
Goodbye.
just tuning
Yeah,
in, you're
I don't
listening
even want to be here. I want to go
Sandy
eat now.
Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael. And we've got Andy Martello here with us, and Ms. Marilyn B. is driving on her way here right now. So we'll be right back after a message from our sponsors.
Oh, yeah. Come on, Carl. Get off the golf course. This guy's got so much money. I don't know where the hell he got.
I am at the Orleans Tuesday through Saturday night, 9 o'clock, and I listen to Sandy Kastel and Friends with Chef Michael. Catch the show.
Making every morning brighter. This is Sandy Kastel and Friends. Here again, your host, Sandy Kastel.
Hi, and welcome back to the Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael. I'm sitting here looking at this book, The King of Casinos, Willie Martello and the El Rey Club. And this is by Andy Martello. So is this one of your relatives?
Oddly enough, no. Believe it or
Wow.
not, it's just an amazing coincidence. That's what got me started writing the book in the first place, was that we shared a common last name that is not at all
Related.
common. Yeah, and I literally spent about 8 years of my life working on this book, and I don't even have a horse in the race. I have absolutely no relation to the man whatsoever. And when the book first came out, I used to do the very authorly thing. And when people would ask, I'd say, "Oh, well, you're going to have to read the book to find that out." Now I tell people right away, because it's that much. I think it's that much cooler knowing that after almost a decade of my life of researching and interviewing people and going through rat-infested junkyards to find, trinkets and information, I just think it's a more interesting story to know that the only reason I still put it out is that everything I learned was that much more fascinating.
Well, how did you get interested in this
There was
begin with?
Long before I lived in Las Vegas, there was a place called Las Vegas Antiques and Gift Shop. Now they're still around in Vegas. They've just moved locations, but this used to be at the Neonopolis complex.
Oh, yeah.
And after a day at the Neon Museum with my friends and my wife at the time, we ended up walking into this place, and for the low price of $2.50, you could take a tour of the owner's museum of cool Las Vegas artifacts, things like that. And I quite literally walked right past a photo, and it's in the book, but there was a picture of this rundown old dump called the El Rey Club in Searchlight, Nevada. And my wife just kept tugging at me going, "Andy, look at this picture." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's cute, fine." Like 3 different times. And she's finally, I've said this many times, there's a time in every married man's life when his wife will actually say the phrase, "Can you really be that stupid?" and this
Did I ever say that to you, Michael, yet? No, that's right. We're not married. That's right.
Sometimes they just say it just for fun. And that's when I noticed on the picture it had a sticker on it that said Willie Martello's Casino and Brothel on the way to Searchlight, or on the way to Laughlin. Now I can't stop looking at the picture, and the only two things I could see are Martello, because that's my last name, and Brothel, because I'm just an idiot like that. And I spent the remainder of my vacation just wondering, oh my God, is this guy still alive? Is the place still open? And I promised myself when I got back home to Chicago, I was going to do a little research, see if all I wanted to do was treat it as a hobby, see if maybe I could find a poker chip from the place.
Wow.
And as it happened, it just blossomed into, I call it a hobby that went wrong. It blossomed into, I found out so many fascinating things about the place. The Rat Pack used to hang out there.
I see there's an award on there, so it couldn't have been, anything that went wrong on it. Michael, what's on the front cover there? There's a big gold star right there at the top in the right-hand corner.
It says International Book Awards winner.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah, it's for my first book. I won an International Book Award for Best Biography, which blew me away. Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
They're listening. Our listeners are listening.
Yeah. It's very funny. The book was entered in a few contests upon the recommendation of a few other author friends of mine who said, just throw it in. Don't worry if you ever win. Do it.
That's right.
And do it because a lot of, for the cost of your entrance fee, you could end up with a full year's worth of advertising on some of these very high-traveled websites.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly, for the cost of whatever it cost to enter that book into that particular contest, I couldn't afford a year's worth of advertisement on their website.
Sure.
And to show you that, it's my first book, and to show you how You're an entertainer like I am as well, and you know, there's always a moment when you're doing something entertaining and you doubt if you did well, and you doubt if people like it. And when I received the email saying congratulations, you just won an international book award,
You're like, oh my gosh.
I sent an email back to them that said, "Did you read the book? Are you serious?"
Maybe it was the pictures.
Maybe they just looked at the pictures.
Well, so tell me a little bit. What is like one thing in there that nobody else knows about?
Well,
There's like a real secret.
There are so many. Not the
just
least
give
of
me
which
one.
Francis Ford Coppola's first movie was made at the El Rey Club. And
You know, I thought that looked familiar.
yeah, it's not a great movie by any stretch of the imagination. It's a
Don't
movie.
tell Frank. Don't tell Coppola that.
Oh no, he
admitted it.
Whenever anyone feels like asking him about it, because it was this dreadful topless 1960s cat house film called Tonight for Sure, and I have a copy of this movie. It is arguably the worst movie you will ever see.
Oh
in
my
your
gosh!
life. And
Well, that just goes to prove that sometimes you just have to you do the work and then you do the work and you do the work and you eventually get better.
oh yeah, a future Academy Award winner. He done good, kid.
Well, they do that with songwriters too. They say, write every single day, every single day, every single day, and everything you write isn't going to be used. You might throw it away, or you might pick it up 30 years later and take one idea out of it and write another song off of it.
They can't all be Hey Jude.
That's right. That's right.
They can't all.
I was fortunate to come in Vegas in 1974. I was young. I was in my early 20s. And I'll tell you one thing. I was lucky to catch the tail end of what Vegas really was. Every
sure.
lounge
Before they
was
started
open.
tearing all the buildings
Yeah,
down.
that was the Sands, you know what I mean, and Caesar's Palace, and there was you
Thunderbird.
had Walter Kane, who was the entertainment directors, and them guys those days, they were. And when you say entertainment director, these guys knew entertainment. Today, these kids, they're in a place, they're in their 30s. They know.
Well, it was back in the day when they would actually hire entertainers to bring people to the casinos.
Right.
Now, if you've got the money and can afford the advertising, anybody can have a show out here.
That's right.
It's going to cost you, and
Well,
you're going to go to the
we're talking about that's a four today, and it's
we
sad.
can four-wall a show.
Anybody
right now
can
and
go
do a
right
show,
now.
yeah.
We can do it,
Absolutely.
but you got to pay for the waitresses, cocktail waitresses. You got to pay for the health and welfare, double
Doesn't
back
mean
to
you're going to
Social
make any
Security.
money on it.
Oh yeah.
And then remember, the lady from Oshkosh, Wisconsin, if you don't have a ticket distribution that is really in place, who the hell's going to come to see you?
You're right.
If they don't know who you are, no matter
right.
what name of the show, Vegas Nights, the Vegas Greatest, the whatever that you want to put on there. People from what they want to go see. They want to see Terry Fader. This is what people come to Vegas to see.
There's
the
a
production
classic
shows.
old showbiz joke about your degrees of fame. You start off as who is Andy Martello? Get me Andy Martello. Get me a young Andy Martello, and then who is Andy Martello? Those are your stages of fame.
Right.
And
cycles.
Las Vegas these days is the only town in the whole world where who is that guy is actually the question that's asked, regardless of who's headlining.
And it's amazing.
There's no, how many big names are on the strip right now? There aren't.
No
there
matter
aren't
where
any.
Sandy and I go or perform, I'm so stereotyped, it's pathetic. If it's the Scar Lounge, if it's the West Wing, if it's the even Sienna's, people will come up to me and they'll look at me and they actually believe, it's amazing, that I'm connected in some way with
I
the
can't
church.
imagine why.
I can't imagine why. Just
with
the church.
With the church.
Oh,
yes.
I guess I could see that as well. I
With
mean,
this
they're
church.
criminals too. It's all good.
No, with the church, and because I was an altar boy, and I got this.
This story is not going to end well, is it?
No, it's not.
It's just taking a terrible turn.
Terrible.
Well, but Andy, you're also a juggler.
Yes.
So that's your entertainment. As far
Stand-up
as
comedy,
entertainment,
stand-up comedy, juggling, fire eating, plate spinning, and the last couple of years I've made
Fire eating, plate spinning. You can say that. in one
fire
breath.
eating, plate spinning.
Yeah, right.
In the last couple of years, I've made my living as the announcer for The Price is Right Live, which had a show at Bally's for about 5 years, and now they're doing touring versions of it around the country.
That's good. But you're not touring with them.
Not right now. They don't have a show out right now. So
okay.
As soon as they do, they'll give me a call, and I'll be telling people to come on down.
Give us an announcement. Let's say you want to say, and The Price is Right, and what we say, Mike?
All right. Well, first
Door
off,
number 3.
That's right. I tell people I got the only reason I got the job is because I can read and talk at the same time. So if you hand me copy, I will just read it like that. But otherwise, it could be Sandy Kastel. Come on down. You're the next contestant on The Price is Right Live.
Yay!
And then, you've got prizes and things like that. You talk about the new Frigidaire 26 cubic inch side-by-side stainless steel refrigerator featuring through-the-door controls and a handy ice and water dispenser available from Best Buy. It can be yours
for $9.99.
Yeah, that's right. So, all day long. My job, I never know what I'm going to read. So I mean, I know what I'm going to do because I do the audience warm-up. But then I go to my podium, they hand me stuff to say, and that's my job.
Well, you got a great radio voice, so that's really good.
And my face is perfect for radio as well.
All right.
So anyway, so Chef Michael?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us about last night. I want to, talk a little bit more about last night.
Last night was incredible.
You got up and you did something with Joey Vespi. Joey Vespi was playing one set of drums. You were playing another set of drums. And then all of a sudden, you guys broke out into this thing where you went around the room drumming on every single thing, including heads, glasses,
fingernails,
feet. Forks and knives.
Anyway, Joey Vespi was with Louis Prima for over 10 years. Because that was my dream as a kid to play with Louis. You know what I mean? And I never had that opportunity. But Joey did. And Joey's a great show drummer, and for years I sang and played, and as the years went by, then I fronted the band. So it's hard for me to find a drummer because I know what I'm looking for as far as rhythm behind me as I'm performing. Joey Vespi and we did a tribute to Gene Krupa and Buddy Rich. I have the flavor of a lot of Krupa, and he plays like Buddy. And we did a battle together, and we got up there and we did Sing, Sing, Sing. That's a Benny Goodman arrangement, and we went out and we played. We jumped off the drums. I don't know why I did this. I jumped off the drums, and Joey was just watching me, and everything I did, he follows me, like, it's like mimicking, what I'm doing. And he takes his drum in the middle of the thing. He takes his floor tom-tom, and we're playing on the floor tom-tom. And then I said, "Come on, Joey, let's go!" And then and I start walking through the audience, and I'm banging on the bar, the tables, the people's shoes. But the key is, it was so. I was watching after it was over, and the people, because it was entertaining. You don't see that anymore. 1960 in the 60s,
like Las Vegas Lounge,
you know what I mean? And
the audience is an afterthought to most of the entertainment.
Exactly, and it was great, and that's the reason why. And it's amazing. At the age of 62, I made such a complete turn circle. How successful it was, and how much fun everybody had last night. Because when you come to see us, it's a party. Because I'm going to tell you something. Nobody wants to watch one guy, even me, one guy for 1 hour, unless you're Tony Bennett or Sinatra. And people today, these people get up and they sing 670 songs, and they stay for a half hour and they walk out the door. Last night we had about 9-10 different performers. So every Wednesday, it's me, it's Sandy, it's David. Well, David Acosta's a fixture with me because he does a great Sinatra. And then Dave's doing, Mac the Knife, and we're really swinging.
But not only that, it is. It's like the old school. It's like what we grew up watching and being involved in. Here at a lot of the different lounges,
it's a whole different world.
And even in the main showrooms. But it was a lot of fun, and we had Zena. Zena came out to join us, and Zena's a violinist. She was here for years and worked in a lot of the main showrooms. As a matter of fact, she worked with Jimmy Molador over at the Las Vegas Hilton too. And she sat there and she said, "Oh my gosh, this is like what it used to be here in Las Vegas."
Get that flavor.
Yeah, that flavor. If you're just tuning in now, you're listening to Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael. You can call in at 702-731-1230. That's 702-731-1230. We'll be right back after a message from our sponsors.
At the Fashion Show Mall, and I just want to tell you to definitely listen to Sandy Kastel and Friends with Chef Michael every day, because I do.
There's no other radio show like it. This is Sandy Kastel and Friends. The phone lines are open at 702-731-1230. Now, here again, Sandy Kastel.
Good morning and welcome back to the Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael.
I became Chef Michael.
Guess who joined us now? We got Ms. Marilyn B.
Caledonia!
Hey, how's everybody?
Yeah, it's good to have you here, Marilyn.
Thank you so much.
We missed you last night. We know you were singing.
I know. And we would have liked to have been sitting there in the audience over there at the West Wing Cigar Lounge with you, but we were over at Sienna's, so we had we couldn't split ourselves in two. So how was your show last last night?
It was great.
Yeah?
It was great, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, we had a lot of people come over, and they really enjoyed it, so they popped over afterwards. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We love you. You're gonna be. I'm
But
taking
you're
you
gonna
with
be
me, girl.
back.
You know I'm taking you with me.
Oh, I'm counting
You
on
are
it.
going to
You know.
be back on Friday night at the
I
West Wing
am.
Cigar Lounge.
Absolutely.
And I know you got a lot of great people coming out to see you there.
I do, and I'm going to have special guests with me also.
Good. Is T Fox going to be there?
I hope so. I haven't spoken. I have to
Who
catch
you
up
got?
with T
Who you got?
Fox.
Tell us.
He's so slick.
He is. Like,
Sometimes he's hard to catch up with.
I know. Well, he's busy boy.
Well, on the phone before we don't want to.
Yeah. Oh, Mimi. You
We
got Mimi. Hi, Mimi.
Hi, Mimi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. The best to you each morning.
Get the call letters right, for goodness
Goodness
sake. That's
sakes.
Radio 101. Come on now.
Really. So how you doing this morning, Mimi?
Wonderful. I just wanted to tell you guys that I brought Auntie Zena last night. She had a blast.
I know.
Place telling her stories of the day when Vegas really was the entertainment capital,
Right.
and because she played at most of the major hotels at the time, and most of the major players. And so anyway, she had a ball last night. I had a ball last night, and I just wanted to thank you for bringing. She said your show at the restaurant last night, Sienna, is like the lounges used to be.
That's
with
right.
lots of entertainment and laughter and music and stuff. So it was wonderful, and believe me, I will pass the word around.
Thank
and
you,
with
Mimi.
being with the Jazz Society, I get to talk to a lot of jazzers and a lot of music lovers. So I will be sure to pass the word around.
Well, we
That's
really
great.
appreciate it, Mimi. And also, Zena's a tough customer.
Yes.
Because she is a musician.
And she's worth $1
because
billion on top of
and
it.
because she has worked with so many of the, the famous legends that we've,
Yes.
in Las Vegas. And, of course, my dad did, too. He worked at the Frontier for years, and then he was at the Hilton, and then at Caesar's Palace. And, it's tough, for musicians because they have a different outlook on the performers. They're sitting there, they're either playing in the pit, but so they look at the entertainers a little differently. But when they compliment you, you got to
Yes.
take it as a real compliment.
Well, when I was
because they
singing,
don't compliment lightly.
When I was singing, somebody booed me, and I think it was Cena. She went,
No.
"Boo!" No, I'm
She
only
didn't. She was
teasing.
actually watching in awe as you and Joey Vespi went around the room.
She was saying, "Ooh, that's really good."
Yeah,
yes.
that's Zena.
Boo, yeah.
Well, I got to say something on the air just so everybody knows. I said it yesterday. Mimi, we go back 20 years. I went to her house for dinner, and across from the table was Buddy Greco. And
Yeah.
I wound up being through her dinner. We start talking, and Buddy, I was in awe because as a kid, I'm 62. Buddy's in his late 80s now. He had he's got 20 years on me, and we became inseparable friends. And for my 46th birthday. Buddy gave me, for my birthday, he gave me his arrangement of Ladies of Tramp. And now, there's a couple people that do Ladies of Tramp. Sinatra does it his way. Buddy did it his way. And I do, when I do Ladies of Tramp, I do it my way. Because the 99% of the guys that do Ladies of Tramp, that sing it, they always sing Sinatra style. And every time I did a performance, I always would have my arranger, God rest his soul. I had quite a few of them. And they're all dead, believe it or not. Irv Gordon was the greatest. It was always an original arrangement. Because an arrangement, yes. Because if you know Misty, the song Misty, Earl Garner wrote Misty, Johnny Mathis sang Misty, and Groove Holmes in 1965 did Misty and went gold. That was his style. So So anyway, it was just a little bit of trivia. And once again, Mimi, we thank you and we love you. And I hope to see you again.
She was trying to say something.
Go
What
ahead,
were you
sweetheart.
saying, Mimi?
Trivia. Lady is a Tramp is the song that Buddy's wife walked down the aisle to.
Really? Who, Leslie?
Leslie.
She.
Okay, well, it was fun. Hope to see you again, and hope that you'll come out Sunday to the Bootlegger in the afternoon to see our Dixieland program.
I know that should be a lot of fun, Mimi. Yes, that'll be fun. In the afternoon, what time? 2 o'clock?
And at 2 o'clock, and I still want to know what you guys have in your coffee with all that energy.
It's called the Spirit of Jesus Christ. Trust me.
Thank you so much, Mimi, and thanks for bringing Zena out. Okay.
Thank you so much. We love you, Mimi. What a nice lady she is. She looks the same. She hasn't changed a bit. She was always fiery redhead.
Well, I just met her a couple years ago,
Great
and
lady.
she's just so energetic, like you said, and works with the Jazz Society. And we, as she said, we've got a lot of great jazz musicians here, and we don't have as many rooms, that are open to playing the jazz anymore. I don't know why, but we're trying to bring it back, and I've got the dispensary is doing some, and now the West Wing Cigar Lounge, and now Sienna's. So, we're
Things are
enjoying
happening,
ourselves.
and we got Marilyn B.
and Ms. Marilyn B.
Yeah, girl.
So, Ms.
Hello.
Marilyn B., tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I was born and raised in Chicago, and I came out here and.
He's from Chicago too,
That's where I'm from
Andy.
originally.
Are you
Yeah.
really?
Absolutely, yes.
Where did you hang in Chicago?
Oh, all over the darn place. I had lots of musician friends playing. Is that my agent? Or I need a better gig. No, all over the place. You name the neighborhood, I probably drank there somewhere.
Okay. I know Lincoln Park.
Lincoln Park, plenty of great places. It used to be a really great old rock club called Lounge Axe that I used to go to all the time.
Great pizza, man. They got great pizza in Chicago.
Yeah, they do.
They
Great
got great
food, period.
everything. Pizza, food, everything. Architecture, it's all
Great music.
Well, anyway, I came out here in 2009 because of the weather.
Oh, now it's mine.
In
Oh, great. Turn
February.
off your phone.
When
Andy.
I came, it was a major snowstorm in Chicago, ice storm actually. And my husband and I woke up one morning. All the children had just left to go to school, or they just moved out. And so he said, "Do you want to go to Vegas?" And I said, "Yeah, why not?"
That's great. Now,
Why not?
You were singing there in town?
Yes, I was. When I left there was a really, 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 really nice. It was a tourist attraction, and it was called, what was it? Oh, the Voodoo Room. You remember the Voodoo Room?
Voodoo Room, yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
God, yeah.
I closed the Voodoo Room. I was the last act that was there.
Okay. And then you came out here, and what did you find? What was different in Las Vegas than Chicago for you?
Well, I found out that you just
Be
don't
nice.
walk in. You don't walk in like people have been waiting for you, that you have to really meet people such as you and Mike and many others that I've met that will help me to try to get where I'm trying to go to. And I don't know where I'm trying to go to, but somewhere.
Well, I'm taking you with me, girl, because you
gonna take
started
me
with
with
me.
you?
And you're under contract.
Oh, wonderful.
You got to be with Sandy Kastel and Chef Michael.
I am looking forward to it.
Yeah, wouldn't it be great if we can get a big show on the Strip and we got all our favorites up there with us?
We
oh
can.
my
There's no
gosh.
problem.
I
And
know.
I
Just
wanna-
for all the room.
Can I tell you something?
Just need a few $1 million just for
I
one
know.
Well, I
billboard.
want to tell you something. I don't want to say something, but I'm in negotiations right now with a certain party
That's right.
that we can do that. And if that's the case, I have all the intentions of putting a show of shows.
Show of shows.
I mean, with a swinging band, 6-piece orchestra.
Wow.
Okay, it'll be Mike Leonetti, Marilyn B., Sandy Kastel, T. Fox.
All right.
Lady Red, what's her name? Brazilian?
Paris Red.
Paris Red. I mean, I'm talking about some,
Lady
because I'm going to tell you, nobody wants to watch one guy for 1 hour. So you get out there, you do your 1-2 songs, you knock them out, and bring somebody else out, and then and the audience goes out, and it's great.
Well,
Who's on
speaking
the
of
phone?
which, we've got somebody on the phone
Who's
right
on the
now.
phone right now?
Is that Evan Davis?
Hey, you Jewish son of a... What's up, buddy?
Good morning.
Hiya, Evan. Did you have a good time last night? You right out on the bill.
Had a great time last night. Thanks for picking it up for me.
Yeah, what else is new?
And Sandy, she looked absolutely
She looks
stunning. She
great.
had the beach look yesterday. She let her hair go naturally curly, and it was really pretty. I like that look on her.
She looked great.
It's her birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Oh, we can't sing that song because we have to
What's that?
pay Roger rights.
Send me the bill. I'll be glad to pay it.
There are royalties on Happy Birthday?
Oh, yeah,
there
Remember
is.
the girl, the
Goodness.
lady, the woman that took it. It was in the
All right, then let me sing
eminent
something
domain
else.
or whatever.
Let me sing
They
something
go,
else.
happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday.
If I was
Come on, Marilyn, come on. She says, I'm not getting in on this.
Suffice to say,
Okay, well,
birthday
I'm
wishes
glad
are
I
given.
called in.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Sandy.
birthday,
Now,
Sandy.
what are you doing? Are you doing something special for her tonight?
Yes, actually, we're going to Mon Amiga B for dinner tonight.
Oh,
And then tomorrow night we're gonna do a trio. I think we're gonna stop first and see Craig Cantor at the Barrymore. Then head over to Viva Las Vegas Event Center and see Kelly Clinton do part of her show, and then catch Ronnie Rose at the Dispensary later in the evening.
Wow.
We're going to be singing at the Barge at Caesar's Palace, so you might as well come by and see us, Evan. I'm only teasing you.
Yeah. So that
Is
should be
that
a lot
boat
of fun.
sunk?
You're going to wear her out tomorrow night. My gosh.
Listen, are you still? You going to do every Wednesday night now at the
Yes.
Sienna?
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got to put together a flyer. You put together a really good flyer for us last time. Maybe you can help us out with that. Yeah, I got to send you a nice picture. I got a great picture of Michael from the birthday bash, and I want to give that to you, Evan, because it's really great. And I'll send you one.
And I want to thank your wife for making me those handkerchiefs with the embroidered meatballs on it.
On a tee.
It was
for
beautiful.
the golf tee.
For the golf tee. That was so nice. And it's really nice because when
It was
somebody
great,
turns
personal.
around and does something special for you, it's like Marilyn B. She gave me a check for $500, told me to go eat. But there was no fraud in it. I mean, not even a card. She just gave me a card.
Yeah, she said, go eat at your favorite Chinese restaurant.
Right.
Actually, speaking of other kinds of food that we like,
Filipino
we went
girl.
to the Filipino restaurant, Cafe de Cebu, and that was with Shallow over on Flamingo, and they were out last night. They came and joined us, and they are just such a nice couple.
They are.
And the food is excellent, so you got to check it out.
The
That's
adobo
Cafe
is
de
to die
Cebu.
for.
Yeah.
Well, tell me when you want to go. We'll go.
Okay, great. All right. Well, thanks for calling in, Evan.
Thanks,
It's always
Evan.
great to hear from you. And wish Sandy a big happy birthday for us, okay?
Thanks. Have a great show.
Thank you.
you so
Thank
much.
you. Oh, we got to take a break.
my
This
God,
is
in
Sandy
heaven.
Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael. We've got Miss Marilyn B. and we've got Andy Martello.
Yeah, Brother
he
Andy.
wrote that
Hello.
great book.
He's Italian, one of my own.
Back to Sandy Kastel and Friends. The phone lines are open at 702-731-1230. Now, here again, your host, Sandy Kastel.
Hi, welcome back to the Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael. I'm just reading a little bit about on the background of your book here, King of Casinos, The King of Casinos, Willie Martello and the El Rey Club. And it says, after a horrific blaze destroyed Willie Martello's El Rey Club in 1962, nearly 50 years would pass before anyone knew of how that casino and one-time brothel provided a template for present-day gambling resorts, upset the mob by luring millions of dollars away from Las Vegas and into the tiny mining town of Searchlight, Nevada, and inadvertently launched the career of Francis Ford Coppola.
I couldn't have said it any
Wow.
better myself.
That is great.
And it's all true. I tell people, it says on the cover, it's an unreal but true story.
That was the
this
days when Italians could have got a license for gaming. Today, forget
Oh, not
about
anymore,
it.
A little harder,
not
yeah.
anymore,
a little
yeah.
harder.
Getting
You know,
old.
the funny thing is, everyone always assumes because he was an Italian casino owner, he was a mobbed up guy. That place didn't become a mobbed up place until long after he died.
Yeah, so he
Which
was
is
like
even
he was
funnier,
an
yeah.
innovator. An innovator, and he helped to set the mark. For a
Absolutely.
lot
They
of
were
other
trying
hotels,
things in Searchlight in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. They didn't do here in Vegas till the 80s and 90s.
We've got another caller in. Who's that? Who's our caller, Ryan?
Hello, is this Sandy?
Robert. Hi, Robert. How are you?
Buddy, what's up,
Hey,
buddy?
how you doing? I just wanted to tell you a phenomenal show last night. I was so happy I was able to get over there and see Sandy sing and Chef Michael get on those drums. They were phenomenal. And everybody, Dave DaCosta, Cece Spencer, all the great folks that I've met since I've known you all. And, I'm so happy you have Marilyn B. on the show this morning because we
Thank
saw Marilyn at my cousin Sherry Gordon's show last Thursday. She knocked him out the box.
She knocks us all out.
Well,
Oh my
tonight is
God!
Thursday. We need to go down there.
I know we're
Sandy.
going to go out. That's where we're
We
going.
need to go tonight.
I think we're going to have to take Pirco and Jolet because
We gotta go.
If you could come down tonight, they got a group called In Demand. But next week they've got a show, a tribute. A guy he worked with Michael Jackson and his family. A guy named Majestic, and he's a magician, and he's dying of cancer. So they're going to be giving him a big send off. I think Latoya Jackson and her reality show is going to be there next week.
Okay, that's going to be great.
Joe Jackson might come, and I don't know if I'm supposed to say this or not, but I think Stevie Wonder might come in, but I got to check on that.
Oh, my
but
gosh.
That's next
great.
Thursday, but we'll be down there tonight.
But you can leak it just in case, just to let
that's a heck
everybody.
of a teaser if you're not supposed to say it. Oh, yeah, by the way, the president is joining us.
Yeah,
What?
right, but don't tell anybody.
Uncut secret in Las Vegas, but I would love for you and Chef Michael, Marilyn B., and all your guests today come on by, and all the great folks that I've met since I met you, and Chef Michael, Lisa.
Well, thank you,
and,
Robert. We
Roscoe,
appreciate you coming
Terry,
out.
I know he's watching, and I'm a big fan of you. As you know, the first time I came on your show with Grady Harrell and Tal Palmage, and you guys got me so excited. And you came to the show that night at the Fiesta Rancho, and I've turned your radio show on, and I've never cut it off.
Thank you, brother.
It's permanently on the dial.
Thank you, Robert.
It wakes me up in the morning. Thank you so much.
I appreciate
We
it.
love you,
Yes,
pal.
thank you so much for listening.
He's the best, and just one every time we go. Thank you so
Robert,
much.
thank you so much.
Oh,
Say hi to Monique, too, and we'll see you guys next week.
Jeff Michaels, I'm calling in for my show ticket.
Oh, we'll give it to you. We'll get you covered. Thank
All
you,
right,
brother.
thanks a lot, Robert.
We got
Thank
one more
you so
caller.
much.
We got one more caller, and
Okay.
then so we can take Shiloh.
Good morning.
Hi, how are you, Shallow?
Hi, I had such a wonderful time last night.
Thank you guys for coming down. It was great to see you again.
Thank you for having us. It was amazing.
And your food is absolutely incredible, and we're glad that we've got a lot of new visitors that are going to come and visit you now.
I know. Thank you. We can't wait.
Yeah.
Real
I
quick,
just
what's
want
your
to-
address? What's your address?
We are on 6680 West Flamingo.
6680 West Flamingo, and
Flamingo.
that's for Cafe de Cebu. Did I say it right this
Yes.
time?
Cafe de Cebu.
De Cebu. Oh, de Cebu.
You can do it.
I just put the
I
accents
also
on the
want
wrong
to
side.
announce that we won an award at Las Vegas Fest, and we're receiving the award tonight.
Oh, that's great. Congratulations.
Yeah. So it's a
I
big
gotta-
deal for our restaurant.
I got to stop by your place because I promised you some. I got about $3,000 in show tickets.
I know.
That I want
Oh,
to give
you
you,
are
so you can give your
amazing.
customers. So everybody, you go there to eat, and we got major shows like when you call the station. So go there to eat, and you'll get a major show. I'll be down today to drop those tickets off personally.
Thank
Shallow,
you,
we got to
thank
go
you.
because we're wrapping it up here. But I want to
All
thank you
right.
for calling in, and thank you again for coming out
Okay.
last night. Okay,
And
we'll
see
see
you
you
next
over at
week.
Cafe de Cebu.
Decibel.
Okay. Thank you so much.
We
Thank
love you,
you.
baby. Thank
Okay.
you. What a
Love
nice
you
kid she
too,
is.
guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Miss Marilyn B., tell us
Yes.
again. You're going to be performing Friday night at the West Wing Cigar Lounge, and you're
Right.
going to have some of your friends come and sit in.
Yes, absolutely.
Who?
And we're going to be there from 8 p.m. until 11:30 or 12 p.m.
Okay, great.
So we want everybody to come out. Also, I forgot to say, I'm also, the following day, I'm going to be at Shifty's. Shifty's is if you want to hear some real live, authentic blues.
Ah, blues.
I'm going to be performing there
yes.
with Bobby Jones
Okay,
and Miss Pam E. Williams, and we're going to be there from 8 o'clock until. And
great.
it's on Sahara and Valley View.
Thank you so much, Ms. Marilyn B., for joining us today. And the King of Casinos book. You've got to get this. Willie Martello and the El Rey Club by Andy Martello. Thank you, Andy, for
My
joining
pleasure.
us.
Tell everyone, come on down to my book signing at Barnes & Noble in Henderson this Saturday
This
between
Saturday,
11
what
and
time?
3.
Oh, 11 to 3. Go down and go do a book signing and get a book from Andy Martello. Thank you, everybody, for being on our show, and especially Chef Michael for that great recipe. And we will see you again tomorrow morning here on KLAV 12:30 a.m., the Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael.
Oh, yeah, Carl's book is almost done. We love you, Carl.